Well, you never expected this, did you guys? Yeah, this is my second video of the day, so I'm not going to go into any introductions. Well, just say it's Barry Aldridge here. And yeah, I was pleasantly surprised by today, though, really, to be honest with you. But it's been a really good Christmas day, probably one of my favorite ones. I swear, though, the 2020 Christmas days have been fantastic overall. But yeah, I will share with you what I actually got for Christmas, even on today on Christmas Day. So, first up, obviously, of course, I did get the Doctor Who Season 25 Blu-ray box set, which is a very, very personal series to me because it's the very first series of Doctor Who I ever watched. And I didn't get a chance, though, to watch it, though, today, but maybe over the next little while, I will watch this again because I absolutely love it and I want to see the new special effects on it at some point. And yeah, it's a very, very personal series, though, to me about Doctor Who. And it was the last McCoy ones to be released on Blu-ray, which totally surprised me in that at the end of the day as well. Other gifts I got, well, apart from the scarf, the hat I actually got from one of my neighbors, and also I did get a box of celebrations as well. And she also gave me £10 in a card, which was actually really, really cool. And also, I also got this little sleeve thing, which also comes with a hoodie. Very, very cool stuff. I'll take off the hat just to show the hoodie. Yeah, not bad at all. And also, for the second year running, I actually got some Deadpool pajamas. So, yeah, I was very, very happy about that as well. So, that's actually really, really cool. But since, yeah, I'm showing my presents, I might as well tell you about what happened with me, though, today in general. I woke up at just before 4 o'clock, and I thought, you know what, I'm going to watch Die Hard. Now, Die Hard I usually watch on Christmas Eve, but I just felt like I didn't want to watch anything like Christmassy or something like that. So, I decided, though, to leave it for Christmas Day, and I'm actually glad I did. The only Christmas thing I watched on Christmas Eve was actually the Father Christmas special that I watch every year, which I've watched since 1991 when it first aired on Channel 4. So I'm really, really excited about that. So, and I always done that, and I've always kept the same DVD and played it, and I've only played it like once a year, which is actually really, really cool. And then after the Die Hard, I watched one of the Only Fools and Horses specials because I usually watch it in the evening on Christmas Day. It's because of certain programs like which I will mention a little bit later on. And it's still brilliant in that as well. Then after that, I watched the Mickey's Christmas Carol, which I always wanted to watch on Christmas Day again. I hadn't watched it on Christmas Day probably since the 90s, I think, the 1990s. So for the first time in just about 30 years, I watched that. It was Alan Young as Ebenezer Scrooge and that, and it was a photo of Disney's version of Scrooge, which I've always enjoyed, and I think it's always a Disney thing that's an absolute classic. I know Disney gets some bad raps though nowadays, but this was when Disney was brilliant, in my view. And it was made in the same year I was actually born as well, which is absolutely insane. Then after that, I watched the Ted Lasso Christmas episode, which was back from series 2. I think it was Carol of the Bells, the 4th episode of series 2, and it still is one of my favorite modern Christmas episodes of any program ever, and it's absolutely as brilliant, which is actually really, really cool. Then I watched some Strong Bad emails for quite a bit. Nothing to do with Christmas, but I thought, like, why not? You know, just watch a bit of that, and I thought it was kind of like a bit fun, though, to do that, and it was actually really, really cool. And then round about a little bit after that, I decided though, to go for my first walk of the day because I needed to get some fresh air. And I've started to do Christmas Day walks, really, and I've always enjoy doing Christmas Day walks and that. When I got back, I also watched I think it was The Nightmare Before Christmas on 4K, and I've been meaning to watch that, and it's still a brilliant film, no question, and I still love watching that film, no question about it. And then we had Christmas dinner as well, where I watched a bit of Guardians though with the family, which was actually really nice. Just probably about the first half an hour, 40 minutes of it, which was actually really, really cool. And then after that, I think I watched Lupin the Third, The Castle of Castellanosa, which is not a Christmas film, but it's a film I watched for the first time earlier on this year, and it's regarded as an absolute classic. I absolutely loved watching that, no question about it. Then I was preparing myself, had a bit of a shave as well, which you see now. I mean, I was fully bearded in the first video. Then I got down to watching Doctor Who and Wallace and Gromit on BBC One. I've seen some people complain online about the BBC lineup this year is not very, very good. But I'm going to be honest here. This is actually one of the best lineups since probably for 15 years, actually, to be honest with you. Since 2008, 2009, yeah. And that was when one of the last Wallace and Gromit specials aired. Doctor Who, I had some fun with it. I thought it was quite cool. It was actually a pretty good episode, and I did like certain aspects of it. But I felt like Wallace and Gromit was actually a lot better, and I really enjoyed Wallace and Gromit though this time around. And I actually watched the two previous Wallace and Gromit specials, including The Wrong Trousers, which was the prequel to Avengers Most Powerful, because it does feature the Penguin, Feathers, McGraw, making his comeback. So it was actually really cool. And I thought it was actually really cool. And they also got Peter Kay back in from the Curse of the Were-Rabbit, which actually was a very, very nice touch they brought back into the past. It feels a bit strange that Peter Sallis is not voicing Wallace anymore, but, Ben Whitehead, he's done a great job. And I heard his voice over a number of different things while Peter Sallis was trying to retire and that. And it also feels weird that Bob Baker ain't a writer anymore, but, he passed away, though, too. And you know what? David Burton, who's the new writer, he's very, very good in that. And with Doctor Who, Stephen Moffat did a really, really good job with his episode, and it shows you he still has the magic touch when it comes to Doctor Who. And then I went for a second walk, though, this evening, and yeah, come back here and just doing this vlog. And so the rest of the day, I'm going to be watching the Gavin and Stacey finale. Yeah, it's another Christmas special, and it's their final ever episode. And I've always loved this show as well. The guys from Billickery and Barry and that. I know people say know about James Corden's in it, and James Corden has gotten a bad rap over the years, and I've never been his biggest fan though either. I mean, he was all right years ago, but I think Hollywood really turned his ego upside down, but that's just my own personal thing. I'll give my thoughts on the final episode of Gavin and Stacey when we get to it and that. We'll find out if well, I can't remember James Corden's character's name, but But yeah, I've forgotten about the name of the characters. I know, it's sad really. I ain't watched it in a while, but I will give it another watch though, really, as well, after when I watch tonight's episode. Yeah, I mumbled all over the place because I've just had a really, really good day though, guys. So yeah, thanks very much though for watching though, guys. An unexpected second vlog on Christmas Day. Take care of yourselves, guys. Peace.